Hi there. This is a slightly odd way of doing things. I've just been out for 4 hours. I've had a really lovely time. I'm so light, I didn't have any equipment on me at all, just my pouch and a pinpointer. And it was brilliant. On a field of bean stubble, which is the devil's stubble. There's nothing worse than bean stubble. But my expectations were so low, it didn't matter. But it is a field I found some really good things on. And I thought I'd just give it a go, doing it where I could, just in case there was anything there. And I found 4 or 5 really grotty Roman coins, but they're 4 or 5 grotty Roman coins that I've not found before. So that's brilliant, and it gives me real hope that when it gets turned over, and it will do this year, there'll be more stuff there. So that's just really encouraging. If you can find that on just crappy bean stubble, the usual wonderful bits of pot, and that's a lovely bit, and sort of flooring, slate, stuff like that. And this, an incredible piece of Roman glass. It's got to be Roman. That couldn't be anything else, but God knows what it was part of. I mean, it's just wonderful. God knows. I think it must have been a very rich area there. There's been some wonderful things found there. But as I said, it gives hope. And I have been a bit lazy recently putting out videos, but it's been needed. It's been nice to take a proper break and not worry about finding nice things and recording stuff. But I've got 2 videos. One is coming right now, and it's a cracking little short day I had back in May, I think it was, or late April. And then I've got a really, really good one I did in June. And then let's just wait till things get harvested. In the old days, I couldn't wait to get out on stubble, whatever it was, just to see what I could find. These days, I'm prepared to wait. I really am. It's hard work. You will find things, but if your detector's that far off the ground, then you're just faintly wasting your time, if you want my honest opinion. But let's just hope that the proper harvest will start soon, and they'll start turning some fields over, and then in September we'll come back to making some proper videos. But meanwhile, thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed this one. Hi there. My God, it's basically it's May. You wouldn't really know it. It's still cold. I don't know what's happening with the weather in this country. I was going to do some pasture, the same old pasture I've been doing for a bit recently, but then I noticed that this field, which I haven't been on in literally 2 years, is available, as it were. It's not easy because they've got potatoes in it, so it's doing that. And I'm only really going down one side quite carefully because I don't want my footprints to go too deep. Nothing's through yet, but it's going like that. So it's really, really difficult. So I'm just picking stuff off the surface. As I said, I haven't been on here for a while, so I need to do it. The pasture's not going anywhere, but I can't do it very scientifically. I can literally only do, as I said, there's probably about a third that's available. So I'm just doing it fairly quickly and seeing what I can eke out. And already, even though it's been quite hard work, I've not got great hopes, but I have found a little Roman coin. And I have also found a little hammered coin, even though not much left of it. So there are bits here. Now the Roman's lovely. It's tiny little thing. But I can see a god on one side, and I can clearly see what looks like an empress. I think it's Theodora or Helena on that side. So that's very nice. And then this tiny hammered coin, which is either a farthing or a halfpenny, because it's absolutely minute and it's a bit smashed up. There's only half of it left. I think that must be, Edward I, 2nd or 3rd, so what, late 13th century, 14th century. But what you can see is rather good still, and it's, I reckon that might even be a farthing. So 2 tiny little bits already. So we'll just see how we get on. I'm not super hopeful, but that's not a bad thing. I haven't been out in a long time. I don't have a speaker on me. I've only got one small camera. Well, breaking news. Look what's just arrived. The brilliant chap who does high tasks, down-to-earth metal detecting. I'll leave a link to his channel below. He's been using one of these, and he did a video showing this, and then
messaged me telling me about it, because I've been trying mini speakers for ages. I must have tried 200. He suggested what's called a voice amplifier, and I'll leave a link to this as well to see if it works. I've not even tried it out yet, so we'll see. I'm not going to do anything fancy with it. I'm just going to clip it here, come out into the garden where you can be... Where's Taz? Come on, Taz, come here. Come out into the garden where you can be sure of getting signals, and we'll see what this is on. I'm just going to plug it straight in here. Usually I would have a split up, one for my ears and one for this. But we're just going to put this in. I've not even used it yet. Turn this on. Turn the volume up a bit. Well, it's brilliant. Just as good as any speaker I've found. See if I can put the volume up a bit. Charlie, no. Sorry, Big Ears here was playing around with the camera. Okay, do you want to have a go? So you swing it, hold it like that. Hold it like this. Ready? That's a big bit of iron. But don't touch the camera. Anyhow, I think the long and short of it is that's going to work as well as any speaker. It's really easy. I've just clipped it on there and switched it on. Lots of edge of iron stuff around here, but that's absolutely brilliant. Now that's going to be an absolute lifesaver. It's really easy to use. I've not been sponsored by Norwii or anything silly like that. I'm just showing you what I'm now going to use to be able to produce some sound using the light version of either the Deus I or the Deus II. And that's just brilliant. So DownToEarth, thank you very, very much for that advice, because if it hadn't been for you, I'd probably still be playing around trying to find a mini speaker. In fact, this is not a mini speaker. It's a... whatever I said it was earlier, a voice amplifier, but it works just the same and it's brilliant, and it'll save you a lot of trouble trying to find one, so get one of these. And let's go back to the fields. I'm not really taking it too seriously, but if we do find something nice, then that'll just be a bonus. Well, I think this might be another little hammered coin. Well, it is. And a bit like the first one, it's not in the best condition. It's a bit smashed up. But very nice all the same. It's one of the Edwards, one Edward I to Edward III, I think. So, I mean, I was thinking about monarchs the other day. I think that 1280 or something onwards into the 14th century. I'll have to check it up, but the mint might be slightly more interesting. Is it Durham, perhaps? D-U-R? Not 100% sure on that, but still it's a nice find. So there's a few bits and pieces coming up, I'm pleased to say. It's quite hard work. And I'm only literally, really, as I said earlier, I'm probably only doing about a third of the field. That's all I can really get on, because it goes like that. But definitely enough bits coming up to make it worthwhile so far. And that pasture's not going anywhere. But arable fields do go places. I mean, before you know it, they've got crops on them and stuff. Or potatoes. Well, I hope you can hear me. Wind's picking up again. So I think it's important to try and get this done and to see what we can get out of it. Well, that's a jolly nice sign as well. Always a little medieval strap end, and you can see just there where it would have curled round, and that would have held there the buckle, or the buckle, the rolling part of the buckle to have gone round like that, and where a pin probably would have been as well. It's had a lot of use. Look at that. Proper piece of thing, you know, maybe perhaps not the most beautiful thing in the world, but just a really good sign. You know, brilliant finding these. I love it. well, there's a lesson to be learnt here somewhere. I'm always saying about time management and what you choose to dig and what you choose not to dig. And this has sounded very foily and very low and a bit like all the other little tiny bits of lead I've been digging. And it's just a tiny bit of lead, and when it had some dirt on it, it looked like a horrible little slither of lead like that. I would have almost put it straight in the trash pocket. It's not. Now, it's not in the best condition. It's certainly not the most beautiful I've found, but it would have been once. It's a boy bishop token. Now, these are little lead tokens from the 14th to the early 16th century, and I bored you all about them loads before because I love finding them. They're a brilliant sign of medieval action in a field, and they were lead tokens given out by the church, which could be redeemed for alms and food and bits and pieces during the feast of the boy bishop, which started on St. Nicholas's Day, I think, or in at the end of November, beginning of December. And one of the boys of the choir was elected to be bishop for a period of about a month, and he did all sort of bishoply things and stuff. And these were made to commemorate them, and they're particular to East Anglia. You do get them found all over the place, but East Anglia is the hotbed for them. And come the Reformation, they went out of fashion because Catholic superstitions and funny traditions and things like that weren't at all fashionable, or you got your head cut off for them. But you can see loads of writing around this, and the long cross and the pellets in between. Of course, they were made to look like long cross pennies at the time, and just fabulous, really, really cool, but just looked like something one might easily throw away, a little slither of lead. Check. So check your lead. It was, well, I thought that must have been, because it's so small, just looking at it like that, I thought little tiny trade token. When it had some mud on it, and I could just see some lettering like that. It's very thin, but look, the other side, but that's not a trade token, that's a beautiful design. So I think it must be a button. So you could probably read better than me through the camera. It says London, la-di-da, so it's a button maker. Gosh, we all get plagued by buttons, don't we? But you very rarely find a sweet one like that. Beautiful little thing, I'm really pleased. Well, this might be interesting, but part of me thinks it's got some design on it. And it looks like it might be part of an electrical, what do you call it? The sort of silver bits that go inside with all the fuses and nodes sort of line up with zigzagging on them. Electrical, it's something. It looks modern and to me in bits, but then it's also got a very clear sort of hole in it. I don't know, that could go either way. It's either rather interesting and cool with all that zigzagging, or it's a modern bit of electrical gubbins. I just don't know. We'll have to get it back and cleaned up. Let's go back to headquarters. If it's not good, I'll come straight back again. And if it is as interesting as it possibly could be, then at least we'll find out what it is. Let's go. Hi there, welcome back to headquarters. Gosh, it feels like it's been a long time. Well, it has been a long time. It's been over a month. But it's always a quiet time of the year anyway, because either the fields are still in crop or they've been harvested, then it's stubble. We've got to wait for it usually for it to be cultivated. And that's sort of happening now. It's the end of August now already. But I've had a really nice break, so all good. And very quickly, just after the introduction of this video, I went back to the same field, again for another 4 hours, and found pretty much nothing. A couple of crappy Roman coins. And this. Now, just to find one thing like this in 4 hours makes it all worthwhile. I mean, quite honestly, I found this fairly early on, and I could have gone home because I've never found one before. And to start off with, when I first dug it up, I thought it was a spinning top. I thought it was a medieval spinning top. Look, it actually works really well. This person has actually done that. It's not. It's a Roman button. Now, no surprise there because it's a very, very Roman site. But it's just brilliant. That's still not buttons. Sorry, it's a Roman pin. Actually, part of me thought it might be Iron Age, and part of me thought it might even be Bronze Age. It's just got that sort of feel to it. But I put it on the detecting hub, and they reckon Roman pin, so I'll go with that. No real surprise, as it's an extremely Roman site. But just to find an incredible artefact like that, which would have been beautiful, obviously, I mean, presumably it would have gone on a bit, but that's just wonderful. And it just shows there's still stuff there, even though they're hard to come by. I mean, that one thing in 4 hours, hard work. But back to this video. Now, it's wonderful when you find something which you think might be good, and it is really good, but you're not sure. It's another thing to find something you think may be good, and it's pretty unspecial. Even though, I mean, look, I think it looks quite cool. I put it on the detecting hub, and a couple of wise old birds got it fairly quickly, and it's a sort of Edwardian safety pin of sorts, and I'll show you a photograph that Fred put up for me. Some people suggested tie pin. I think it's a little bit fine, a little bit too small for that, but it's just that shape. So you've got the V section would have held the pin in place, and I think the other section there would have gone round to form the hinge where the pin would have come out from. Anyway, that's what they reckon that is. I mean, I'm not 100% on it, but it does look very similar, so I'm going to have to go with that. As I always say, if you're the only person thinking one thing and everyone else is telling you it's another, then they're usually right. So that's that. So not as good as we thought, but let's just have a quick look at these hammered coins. Now, firstly, thank you so much, everyone who's been bidding for my coins on eBay. It's really exciting, and you've been really, really generous. And as I always say, if I feel someone's been a bit over generous, I'll put another hammered coin in. I mean, I do collect hammered coins, and I do collect I'm a magpie. I find it really hard to throw things away, but it is really good for the channel to bring something back in, and therefore I'm quite happy for the time being to keep putting things I found on video onto eBay, especially if you lot are sort of happy to keep helping me out by buying them. So that's just really, really kind of couldn't have wanted it to have gone better, really. Anyway, the first one, I've got 2 fragments, and spoiler alert, I find 2 absolutely cracking hammered coins, and one really, really special, which I will put up on eBay. Part of me doesn't want to, because I found very few of this type of coin, but I think it's nice to put something a bit special up, as well as, you know, just the slightly less rare ones, as it were. But I do find the last 2 very late on in the video, but it will save you having to watch the end if I tell you what they are now. But they were complete surprises. Now, the first fragment is really rather beautiful. I'll tell you what it is in a minute. It is a fragment, but the detail on it is absolutely beautiful. I put it up on the detecting hub, and Electus, who's brilliant on coins, and really hard working. I mean, the amount of coins he IDs for us all on a daily basis is just brilliant. I put up a brace of hammered fragments. He says it is a Henry VI Rosette halfpenny Maskell type. Now that all sounds very grand to me. I don't know how grand or how rare it is yet, and it's a shame it's not a full one, but it's what is left is beautiful. And the other one is a bit of a smashed up Edward penny, and it was ID'd by Lectors as being Kingston upon Hull mint. Which I've never found before, I don't think. Anyhow, what I'll do is I'll put those as one lot, and I will probably throw in the lovely little Roman I found as well, it's either Theodora or Helena. I think it's Theodora, and you've got the god on the back. I think it's Salus or someone like that, the goddess. It's a really lovely one. In fact, it's probably Helena. I think it's one of the 2. So I'll put those 3 in one lot. And then the other 2 coins here. I mean, the first one, gosh. Well, again, Electus very kindly said 5C Wilhelm B. So a quick look. A lot of people do ask the great man, oh, 5C, what does that mean? Well, look, once he's given you the information, do it yourself. Look it up online or get this. So it's definitely a short cross. We can see that. And it's in absolutely. And 5C is Henry II, I imagine. Let's have a quick look. Sorry, won't be long. Should have done this first. Gosh, I'm getting really, getting really. I went for an eye test, the first eye test. I'm 53 years old. I've never had an eye test before. Apparently, I'm almost 20/20 vision on that site. You know, so it's just this the short stuff on 5C. It's just these reading is becoming reading tiny print, like in reading tiny print in Spade. I need these. So 5C. It is John, we reckon. 5C, slightly rounded portrait, letter X in the form of St Andrew's cross. Well, a good one's worth £160. So, well, we'll see. I may put that up, I may not. It's a lovely coin. And the last one is an Edward III. And it's a York penny. The quatrefoil in the middle of these coins gives that away. Elector said with a clean, it could possibly be Richard II with a clean. I've tried cleaning it. It's a little bit brown there on that side. That's not mud. That's just, I'm finding it hard to shift that. Maybe a little round of electrocution might work on that. Anyway, so there are those coins. So anyway, thank you very much again for watching. I've got a couple of really fun ideas for some videos, which I'll tell you about in next week's video. Or I've got another really good video to come out, which I haven't edited yet from June, so we'll see. But anyway, thank you very much for that, and let's go back to the fields. Well, I've got to say that sounded nice, really nice. It's not in the best condition, and it's forged, sadly. Well, not sadly. But I thought it might be hammered when I saw it sort of like that dark silver giving that sound. I thought it might be an Elizabeth hammered from about there, but it's not. It's a little sixpence, a little George V sixpence. Perfectly nice little thing. Well, I'm fairly sorry you can't hear that, but it's on the surface by the sounds of it. Sounds like a big cartridge, quite clear and dingy. And I'm sorry not to have done many live digs today. It's just not really been that sort of day. I wasn't particularly hopeful that we'd find anything. In fact, it's been okay. A couple of hammered coins, little Roman, boy bishop taking that funny sort of ringy, basically looking thing. And then perhaps this. So I said it's just on the surface there, I think. I probably wouldn't really even need the spade. Whatever it is, I think it's out. I've dug up a lot of lead today. All sounding quite good too. And this is another bit. It's typical. It's been that sort of day. Sorry, the only live dig we do, but I mean that's just old lead. But there's still things here, and I mean I probably won't come back on it until it's been completely flattened after they lifted the potatoes. Then we might have it might be a bit more scientific. But thank you very much for watching that short little video, and see you next time. You're not going to believe this. Literally, there was the bit of lead. Sounding very similar on the surface. Why didn't I pick this one? Look, well, I haven't checked it completely yet, but it's a hammered coin. It's got a bit of sand and mud on it. But I just took out that section before getting the camera. I packed the camera away and everything. I just took that bit off to check, and I think it's a hammered coin, just to check it was and not a button. I didn't want to get excited over a button, but there, look, that's the best one we found all day. Wow, beautiful. And it's oh god, it's a short cross. It's a short cross in really good condition. It's a short cross in lovely condition. I don't think it's even been particularly clipped. It's a little bit off centre flan wise, and we've got a very obvious monarch there holding his sceptre, I think. Wow, what, I mean, just incredible. My luck really is in on days like this. It's been really good fun. It's been hard work. I've been out here for about 4 hours. And I'm not found an awful lot, but to end on that next door to that piece of lead, so odd. Just wish I'd dug that live for you instead, but it doesn't really matter. I don't care. That's just wonderful. I'm not going to rub it anymore. I'm going to take it home and clean it up properly. Well, this probably really is thank you. Well, the goodbye. And see you next time on what a brilliant note. Well, I'm on my way home. It's another one. God, and it looks sort of, it's a bit wonky as well, isn't it? Be a bit careful. It's very sandy, this soil, but that's that might be a later one with the quatrefoides. I think, does that mean it's York mint? That's a Henry V, I think, or Henry VI, like that. Of sorts. So what's that, sort of 15th century? Wow, my God. Well, look, you may have already switched off, and I don't blame you, but see you next time.